So the future of citizenships is really three items, right? I get this repeat question time and again. What are those three things that I absolutely must have in my portfolio in any top-notch, one of the world's best portfolio? I'm going to discuss three things over here, okay? One is a plan A. Example, the classic example or the best example would be Portugal nationality. That is one of the best passports that you can acquire. They do naturalize people. They do allow dual citizenship. Once you have a Portugal passport, you have freedom of movement and settlement rights across the EU, and you can of course go to all the Western countries, US, Australia, New Zealand, Chile, you name it, and you have access. First item. Second item is a plan B, which is a citizenship that you want to acquire with a flexible residency, and I'm talking about Mexico. It's a staple, should be in every portfolio. And if you want to learn how to add Mexico, and I have talked about this numerous times, with us, we are able to get our clients the Mexican residency card. Now, depending upon your situation, whether you need a visa, you don't need a visa. If you don't need a visa, then you can obtain the Mexican card directly from inside Mexico. If you need a visa, then of course it's an embassy process or a consulate process. But we are able to get for our clients the Mexican residency card. It does not matter. It's either you qualify for temporary based on your income, or you qualify for permanent. Whichever category it is, you keep this in the background, and when the right time comes, you naturalize in Mexico. There's also a process called citizenship by exception, which makes the wait period much shorter. And if you've missed the video on the one-day card process for Mexico, you can return and take a look at this video. I have discussed this in a lot of detail. So that's the second item. Fairly quick, fairly strong. And the reason why I think this is a great plan B addition, because it's diversified. Okay, there's several locations inside Mexico that are super safe. So in any country, even in Portugal, there's certain areas that are very safe and certain areas that you should avoid. Same thing with Mexico. You pick your pockets and you should be very safe. Okay. The reason why I really like Mexico is because it's a flexible residency which can sit in your back pocket, and towards the end you do the minimum physical presence in the country, and then you can naturalize over that. So that's the second item. The third is a plan C. There's a critical need for plan C these days. Most successful people don't want a redundant plan B unless they don't already have a plan C. So if you have one or two plan Cs, then you go back, you start talking about redundancy. But a portfolio with a couple of plan A nationalities versus a portfolio with a plan A, plan B, plan C does not compare. I would say a duplication in plan A is not a good portfolio at all. And while I'm saying all of this, this is not immigration, legal, or tax or finance advice. All these statements are my own personal opinion. If you are looking to make any changes to your portfolio, always consult an attorney, or alternatively, you can always reach us. We can have the discussion and then get you connected with our team of professionals based on which nationality or which residency you're trying to acquire. So coming back to the discussion, let's discuss plan Cs. What are plan Cs? Plan Cs are countries, and a true plan C is a country that does not have much imposing control over you. Plan A, you have tremendous control. Either your country is taxing its citizens globally, or it has, even after exiting their tax net, they're going to control its citizens. So that is classic plan A. There's tremendous amount of control. You can be easily picked up or pulled back by your plan A country. Plan C is completely the opposite. Now, what's a fake plan C? A fake plan C is you still have the control by the country, but your plan C is an extremely poor passport. So you might think, okay, you have a poor passport, so that's a plan C, but that is not a plan C. You don't want to get into such a situation. And to some extent, an example would be Egypt. Now, why would you add this nationality? Are you trying to add this for travel mobility? The short answer is no. Okay. Are you trying to, is the country going to protect you, or is its does the country have less control over you or more control over you? So you got to answer those questions and then decide if an option is a plan C or not. Is Turkey a plan C? To some extent, yes. I just find certain countries a little too intimidating or imposing, or when you show the passport, there's just there's something in it, right? Where a lot of people would not feel comfortable carrying that passport. For example, if you ask me, I wouldn't really feel comfortable having Turkey in my portfolio unless there's a very specific reason that you would have Turkey there. What is another example of a plan C? Another example of a plan C would be, or C plus, whatever you want to call it. And in this, the terminology and how you classify these things is a personal thing. You might think it's a plan B or whatever, but for me, another plan C, a good example of a plan C would be, let's say, a Brazilian nationality. Is it easy to get it? No, unless you're a CPLP citizen. It's not that easy. It's not that fast. Another example of plan C would be something like Argentina. Maybe you can call it a plan B, but plan B, plan C, kind of an option where you do have certain good access. I don't like one thing about Argentina. The fact that you cannot freely renounce this nationality is somewhat imposing or controlling for my liking. So it's just something that you got to keep in mind. Now, bear in mind, a lot of people aren't going to care, right? Aren't going to care. They would think, or their argument would be, hey, who cares, man? I don't think Argentina is going to be able to pick me up in case, I don't want to deal with them. There's some issue going on. You always should try to keep things legal. Always stick to the law, follow your home country rules, requirements, and regulations. But let's say sometimes you get framed or you're in a very bad situation. There's bad luck. You're doing everything legally, but there's just some bad situation and you got to protect yourself. Or there's a situation where you envision something is going to happen and the right decision is to renounce a particular nationality. If Argentina is not going to make it easy for you, then do you want to add this as a portfolio item? Is it going to protect you or is it going to put you in more trouble if you hit or encounter that situation? So for that reason, it's a nice residency to strike, but when you're putting in a lot of money, especially to acquire the nationality, then you got to ask yourself a question: is this a plan C or B, whatever you want to call it? So that's another option. Plan Cs, in my opinion, are something totally under the radar. They're utility options. A classic example is the CPLP or the ECOWAS nationality that I keep talking about. ECOWAS because you have a biometric permit that lets you access other ECOWAS nations without a passport. So you do have protection. You do have a Plan C protection in place. And these are like insurance policies. These are not for the masses. Now, a lot of you guys watching are successful and rich, and half of you are obviously the masses who aren't at that level. So in your case, do you need a plan C, especially for the ones who are yet to make it big? You probably don't need a plan C. You would not understand the importance of a plan C. But if you have wealth, you're wealthy, you're successful, you've been there, you've done it, that's when you need a plan C to protect in extreme circumstances. And let's hope that you're never going to need it. It's a luxury item sitting in your portfolio, but it's an insurance policy. If things go wrong, things go bad, then you have this already. You have a plan C which you can rely on. A bad example would be Gans, the CEO of Nissan. Now, if you haven't seen his story, just go back and search on YouTube and see what happened in his case. His poorest nationality went a long way in saving his life. Now, of course, what he did may have been wrong. Like, I don't want to comment on who did wrong and who did right. It's just an interesting case. Never do something like, never get into a situation like that. Okay, let's leave it at that. Now, CPLP, because it unlocks a lot of other countries. Of course, it gives you Plan C protection. You're more in control of the nationality than the country is in control of you. And I'm talking about keeping things legal, working responsibly, using Plan Cs very responsibly. Okay, as long as you're legal and following the law and keeping things responsibly, then I feel the measure of a Plan C is your country's control over you versus your control over your nationality. How much are you really in possession of your nationality, and how much does the country control you or intimidate you or torture you or follow you or can enforce things against you? That ratio is going to tell you how good or bad your plan B is. So apart from the whole control thing, right, some people might think it's far-fetched. Okay, you can think what you want to think. Again, as I said, this is not legal or any kind of immigration advice, right? Let's get back to CPLP. Now, what are CPLP nations that can even give you some benefit? There are nations like Portugal. Remember, Portugal, the Plan A passport. Now, let's circle back a little bit to Portugal. What are the options? If you have a lot of cash and you want to use it wisely, then I think Portugal Golden Visa is beautiful. It's brilliant. It does not need an underlying CPLP nationality. You park in 300k euros. And then you can obviously initiate your Portugal Golden Visa. It's a flexible residency. After 5 years, you can then obviously apply for your nationality. One of the best options still available, although it might go very soon. But let's say it's gone. There's a second option where you fed up of the D7 and the wait and the other visas. You don't want to deal with passive income or rental income, or don't want to go the normal route. You want something quick and easy. That's where a CPLP Plan C can unlock the door potentially for Portugal, where you could qualify for an immediate residency, a quick residency, a faster and an easier, manageable residency, where you don't need, a marriage in the country or a child in the country or any kind of job in the country. You can use your underlying CPLP citizenship to then obviously acquire that Portuguese residency, keep it for the right amount of time, and then still be able to naturalize. In certain cases, it also tremendously benefits you from a language perspective. Portugal requires you to know Portuguese, but if you already have a Portuguese nationality in your background, there could be some beneficial advantages that will help you when you're applying for your nationality. The second major advantage of CPLP is the Brazilian connection. Now, normally, if you go to Brazil and try to naturalize, it's super bureaucratic. It takes 7 to 8 years of time, physical time in the country to naturalize. But then CPLP nationality can get you an immediate temporary residency for a couple of years. Okay, you can directly qualify for this, no conditions asked, just like in Portugal. And then after 2 years, you can convert this into permanent residency, and then you can look at the fast track naturalization option in Brazil. So that it makes it super convenient. The second way is, let's say you don't want to go through the CPLP residency in Brazil. You don't have that much time. Just go and straight strike the Viper permanent residency and then utilize that to then fast track. You have the underlying CPLP nationality, and these are hit or a miss kind of thing. You always should consult with those countries. I take no responsibility for what Portugal or Brazil does with people, right? I can only talk about this Plan C. So those are some of the benefits that come along with that protection, right? How fast is an exception? Exceptions are exceptions. They are extremely fast. They have common sense due diligence. Of course, it's secure, but it's common sense. It's all remote in most cases. And let's say in 30 days, approximately, that's how fast you can naturalize under the radar. So this is going to be a private affair between you, the citizen, and the country. No other third party or no commissions or no Western nations are going to keep eyeballing this whole situation, because all you're trying to do is naturalize in a country. You don't care about the visa-free access, because your visa-free access for life would be guaranteed by that Plan A, right? Let's say you're targeting Portugal, then it's going to be guaranteed by that. And eventually you're also looking at that Mexican option, Plan B, right, that you have in your portfolio. So once you strike that, it's going to add a lot of functional advantages. And when I say functional advantages, I'm talking about things like ECOWAS, okay, that lets you go and freely reside anywhere in Africa. Talking about Mercosur, where you can freely settle down in any of the Mercosur Latin or South American countries. I'm talking about APEC that you get with Mexico, right, where you can go have immediate business access to Australia, New Zealand, Chile, US, TN for the US on the Mexican one. This is functional access. And then more importantly is the Portugal Schengen access. Then you have access to the whole Schengen area. So think about it. If you put these three items in your portfolio, you're getting CPLP, you're getting ECOWAS, you're getting Mercosur, you're getting, and now I'm forgetting the terminologies, but you're getting everything is what I'm trying to say. So you really cannot go wrong. At any point in time, you want to strike all three options, and we specialize in these three options. We are able to get this the fastest. And is the CPLP or ECOWAS the only plan C? No, they're not. It's not the only plan C. You can get other plan Cs as well. Again, plan Cs cannot be publicly advertised. It's really a private bond. As I said, it's better to not talk about them openly. Just keep quiet, do your thing, get your option, be on track. Don't publicly announce how great or beautiful my due diligence is, or how beautiful a particular program is. It's platinum and gold and silver, and keep raking up the prices. That's bullshit. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and before you go, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any latest developments. I will be hinting at future citizenship exceptions, so if you are subscribed to the channel, you'll always be notified. You'll help us grow, and of course together we will create a beautiful future for citizenships, RCBI I mean to say. All right, catch you in the next one.